Hello, everyone. Christina Simmons from Say Yes to Holiness here. So I wanted to take a couple of minutes today to talk about how can we go about making Sunday the true center of our entire week. And why am I talking about this? Well, a lot of us are just having our dispensations being lifted. That dispensation, which said that if we didn't go to Mass, then we're okay. But now we need to go to Mass. Otherwise, we will be in mortal sin because we have the obligation to go in order to do what? To be able to adore and praise and thank God for all of his many blessings and thanks and thank him for all of those. But then also because we need the graces that come. So let me read you a quote. It says, "It is your duty to be concerned about turning Sunday once again into the day of the Lord and making the Holy Mass once again the center of the Christian life. The Lord's Day must be a day when we rest in God, a day of adoration, a supplication, and thanksgiving. It should be a day when we beg God for forgiveness for the sins we've committed during the week just past and ask Him for the graces of spiritual light and strength for the coming week." It sounds like that was just written yesterday, wasn't it? For those of us who are coming out of the pandemic, we're now able to return to church. And for those of us who can't, this still is really important for us to be attentive to. We need to be seeking to making Sunday once again into the day of the Lord, because I know even though we were still going to Mass, we were getting a little lax because we didn't have all the other different activities that were going on that were associated with being a part of the body of Christ in person. So, us being attentive to this. But no, when this was written, when this was spoken, it was shared by Pope Pius XII back in March of 1943. 1943. Here we are 60 years later, actually 80, almost 80 years later, 78 years later, and we're still struggling with this, aren't we? We're still having to work at making Sunday the true center of our week. In fact, Pope Paul VI, who is more recent, he was our pontiff until 1978, and now declared a saint. He said that it's our Sunday is our primary duty, and it's our right, our need, our privilege, and good fortune to be able to have Sunday as a center of our week. So, one of the things that we can be doing is to be directing our mind to heavenly things. So, how do we do this? Well, we set aside our daily business. We don't worry about checking emails. We don't go on to social media. Instead, holy days and our days of rest, Sundays, are designed for us to recuperate, for us to gain strength, so that when we do go back to our occupation, when we do go back to our jobs, we go back with feeling refreshed. Why? Because we were forming our ideals and our plans and we were dreaming during those days of leisure and rest. So this is what we're supposed to be doing, so that that way when we are going about our work, we're doing it with our big why in mind. And what's our big why? Well, our first one should be that call to holiness, that invitation that God has made to each of us to live life in such a way that we are able to become the saints that he created us to be. So that's the first one. The second one, of course, is for us to live our lives, our vocations, our state of life in such a way that we are radiating God's love and mercy to the world around us through our particular state of life, be it we're single or married, or we're a priest or a religious sister. Whatever state of life that we're in, we are to be radiating the love and the mercy of God to those around us. And finally, is for us to give thought to the fact that we're not to be doing mindless leisure. Rather, it's not just empty idleness. This isn't what leisure is. Leisure, again, is about recuperating. So, what are the two main things that we can do in order to make Sunday, at the center of our week? Well, of course, we're going to Mass, we're spending time in adoring and thanking God, asking for forgiveness and also for the graces and strength for the week ahead. But particularly, we're directing our mind to heavenly things. We're directing our mind to things that will help us be able to become the saints that God created us to be. And we do this by setting aside daily business. So try and not do errands and different tasks, but rather use the time that we have for leisure to enter more deeply into relationships with those in our family and our friends, you know, to be going and visiting a sick friend or maybe a grandparent who might be in the hospital or, in whatever way, but to enter into deeper relationship. This can be the greatest gift that we can give to one another. And it's also the greatest gift that we can give to God is that we can go and enter into deeper relationship with Him. So Saint Jose Maria Escriva, he tells us, strive to fill our hearts usefully, doing everything as well as we can, and live the little details of our life with order, punctuality, and good humor. And when we do those things, then what happens is our hearts are filled with joy and they're overflowing with generosity, which means that when we're filled with generosity, overflowing with generosity, it's full of love. And that means that we are taking that time to spend time with God on that day that He has given us and asked us to set aside so that we are making Sunday the true center of our week. And from that, all things will radiate out, particularly the love and mercy and the graces that we receive, so that we can go and be His images of holiness and mercy in a world that so desperately needs it. So I hope that this helps you be able to give you some clarity about how you can make Sunday again the true center of your week. And for those of you who aren't aware, I'm doing a lot of things on Instagram now and also Clubhouse. So make sure to check out the Say Yes to Holiness podcast on Instagram, and then also I'm doing conversations in Clubhouse on Sunday mornings throughout June at 9:30 a.m. Central in the Missionary Discipleship room. I'm talking to our Sunday Visitor Innovation Talk speakers, and I'm doing podcasts with them, and so I'm going deeper into those conversations on Sunday morning. So I hope that you decide to join me, and you can check the show notes for links to be able to jump into those Clubhouse conversations, and also go and check out Instagram. I hope to see all of you again soon. God bless.